All right, guys, welcome to the second Zoom call for Rev3 Endurance Frozen Foot Challenge at Sky Meadow State Park. Robert, who is our race director, will be leading the call. We have a couple of our slides online. We were out there this weekend setting the course, so we have a lot more info about what the actual course looks like and some pros and cons in today's conversation. Hopefully a few more questions that you asked last time we have answered today in regards to parking, camping, the course, the actual distance, those types of things. With that being said, I will turn it over to Robert to go through the slides and we'll follow up with some questions.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Robert here. I am the race director for this race, and it is going to be a good one. The weather on the bottom right of this first slide, you can see Paris, Tennessee, not Paris, Tennessee. Paris, Tennessee is near where I used to live. Paris, Virginia is the closest town, Delaplane, just west of DC. The weather up until Friday is going to be gorgeous. The trails should dry out even more. And then Friday, we get a bit of chance for rain. And Saturday, it's supposed to be partly sunny. So that's awesome. We'll see what kind of precip is Friday, and it might even be snowing on us when we're setting some points. But the weather's looking good. It's going to be a little colder than it has been recently, which is great for racing. So why are we doing this race? Why are you signed up? What is your goal? Is it to get out? Is it to knock the cobwebs off for the first race of the season? Is it to learn something new? Is it to push your own limits? So hopefully we are able to provide you a safe, exciting, and challenging course to get you outside, to live adventurously and challenge yourselves in your own limits. The 8-hour course, we have about, I'd say, depending on how many points you get to, up to 40 miles or more if you get lost of biking, and probably, 15 to 20 miles of trekking after we hiked this last weekend. Yesterday.
Yeah, you know where all the points are, Robert, and go straight to them. I think you can get there in about 14 miles.
All right. So there's a little clue right there for the 8-hour. For the 4-hour race, your bike section is not nearly as long, but there might be more points than you can get to in your allotted time. I'll give you that as a hint. So we're going to challenge you, especially for the 4-hour. It is part of the Virginia Adventure Race, State Park Adventure Race series. It's the first adventure race of the series this year. So we want to make you earn those points. On the bike, I mentioned for the 8-hour course, 35, 40 miles, depending on how you navigate. That's a long way on a mountain bike in 8 hours. Very feasible within 8 hours. But if you want to bring a gravel bike, go that much faster. That's kind of the thought I had in setting up this course. I have both gravel and hardtail, and I would, if I were doing this, I would ride my gravel bike. There will be real gravel. Real gravel. It's gravel. It's Northern Virginia gravel, which is awesome. So 32, 35, 42 millimeter wide tires, whatever you're comfortable with. I wouldn't go really any skinnier than 32s. So if you have a hybrid bike, that'd be just fine too. So mountain bike, hybrid bike, gravel bike, no skinny tire road bikes recommended. You're welcome to try, but I don't want to have to come get you. So 3 different sections of the course, 3 different legs, if you will. We got a Lost Mountain leg, we got a Sky Meadows proper leg, and then a biking road leg. So there's a ton of points out there, a ton. There's numerous. So we'll see. We're going to be tracking a little bit this year. We'll give some of the 8-hour folks trackers that are cell-based and just see how people navigate the course. Mike, if you'll go to slide 2. So what do you need? 8-hour course, you will be plotting. So if you have a UTM plotter, bring it. We do have a few extra. If you don't know how to plot UTM, go on YouTube and brush up on how to plot UTM. If you're completely lost, we can help a little bit. But one of our goals is to get you used to plotting UTMs. As you step up in bigger races, if you do our 50-hour race or any of our longer races this year and next, you're going to have to plot UTM. So might as well get you introduced to it. And Mike and I can help Friday night or early Saturday minimally. Prefer you figure it out on your own, but we do have some backstops just in case. You're self-supporting on Saturday, so bring your own food and water. There will be, in between each of those legs, you'll be stopping by your car to either pick up your bike, drop off your bike. You can refuel, rewater. There is potable water on the course. There is treatable water on the course. So if you feel like you're going to need extra water, bring some form of water treatment. There's plenty of creeks to cross, especially on the bike section. Bring the standard bike equipment that I would take. I guess I'm a little overcautious, but I'm going to have tools, tubes, plugs, chain tools, chain links. I'm absolutely going to have front and especially rear bike lights that are flashing. You will be on some US highways. You'll be on US 17 for a little bit. If you've looked at a map, if you've done your map recon of Sky Meadows, US 17 splits Lost Mountain and Sky Meadows proper. So you'll be on US 17 for hopefully just less than 1.5 miles, but busy road. The road is not getting shut down for our race. You will abide by, shall abide by all rules and regulations of riding on the road, including lights. So please bring lights. Be a little chilly, dress appropriately, don't overdress. We will give you in your race packet rules of travel, your passport, and maps. We'll also give you, and maps plural. In that, there will be Sky Meadows maps. So we have our printed race maps. You'll get a couple of them, but we're also going to give you the standard Virginia State Park map. Some of us, Mike and I had a little disagreement yesterday in a good way. I use the Sky Meadows map. He doesn't like the Sky Meadows map. It's just two different styles of racing. And we were setting points. We knew where the points were. It's there for your use. It is a tool. So you're welcome to use it. For me, it makes it easier. Cell phone, bring it. You are welcome to use any electronic aids to navigation that you'd like to, but it's probably not going to help you all that much. I would use cell phone to track Strava just to kind of see, have an electronic memento of the day, see how far you've gone. But we do need you to have a cell phone in case there's an emergency. So safety is the biggest key for cell phones. Make sure it's charged. It will be cold, so keep it kind of close to your body in your pack. There is decent cell coverage for Verizon, at least. AT&T, not so much. Mike has AT&T. I got Verizon, so we tested that out yesterday. But generally, you'll be able to send a text to me or Mike. You see at the bottom of this slide, and they'll be on your rules of travel, our phone numbers, and our emails. So ideally, you don't have to contact us during the race. You finish the race, and all is good. What's the timeline for Friday and Saturday? We're going to be there Friday evening from 5:30 to 7 for packet pickup, early packet pickup. The park closes at 7. So where is there? There is Turner Pond entrance of Sky Meadows State Park. In the email that Mike sent out, he has the address to the main part of the park. We're not in the main part. We're at the Turner Pond entrance. So if you put it in Waze or Google Maps, Turner Pond entrance, that'll get you to, you'll see our Rev 3 trailer. If you miss our Rev 3 trailer, you're going to miss all the points on the course. So you shouldn't miss the Rev 3 trailer. Turner Pond entrance, 5:30 to 7 on Friday, and then we'll open it up about 7:45 on Saturday morning. We're starting at 9:30, so a little later. If you're in DC or Maryland, give you a little more time to get out to Sky Meadows. But the pre-race briefing will be at 9 a.m. and then should take 15-20 minutes, and then we'll get you going at 9:30. 4-hour race, 9:30 to 13:30, 1:30, and then the 8-hour race will go until 5:30. We will put some constraints, especially on the 8-hour race, of when you have to be finished with certain sections. That'll be in the rules of travel, and we'll absolutely brief it during the pre-race brief. So just know that there are safety backstops, timelines that are built in from our perspective to ensure that you meet the mark and are safely off the course by 5:30. If you, and we'll say this at the pre-race briefing too, this is a big foot stomp. Do not just leave. If you DNF, if you finish or do not finish and you want to leave, please check in with us at race headquarters ideally, and at a minimum, you contact us and you get a verbal, okay, we know you're off the course. Because if you don't, we're going to be searching for you until we find you. And I'd prefer not have to send any law enforcement or search parties out. So it's just one of those things. Our goal next weekend is to be safe, number one, and to provide you a fun time out in the woods. That's quick, down and dirty. We did that in 10 minutes, even faster than last time, Mike.
That's okay, Robert, because that gives me more time to talk.
Well, I don't know that you need that. So just to answer a few questions from the question, did you lock in the 1 to 24 map? Yes. 1 to 24 is the scale for plotting. And I've got it. I left it upstairs. Mike probably has a copy. We're not going to show it to you tonight because they give you some clues. But yeah, 1 to 24 is our map ratio. If you have one of those plotters, it should be multiple scales. But Tom, hopefully that answered your question. If it didn't, come back on. For the 8-hour race, estimate for trekking and biking. It could be as short as a couple miles. It's your race. Trekking, we're going to say, if you go to all the points, it's about 14 miles. Biking, the most efficient way possible would be 35 to 40 miles. So that's not that long. You should be able to do that in 8 hours. Our goal is to have very experienced racers be able to clear the course in 5 or 6 hours. So if you're on top of it, you don't get lost. We're not playing hide the weenie. Most of at least the points I set yesterday, 95% of the points are you could touch them from the trail. We're not. We had some constraints from Sky Meadows that we know off trail navigation. We prefer that they be on the trail. So we because they're hosting, we wanted to make sure we're abiding by the rules. So they're pretty. You should be able to get to them by trails. Mike found out yesterday, and I did a little bit too. There's a lot of sticker bushes out there. So off trail navigation might not be the fastest way to do it. There are a few sections that it'd save you a couple miles. It might not save you any time. So that's something you'll have to figure out. But your views are great because there's not a lot of leaves, but the stickers are going to grab your pants and rip them. Sophia, hopefully that answered your question on the estimates. If anybody has any more questions, just throw them in the chat. Mike, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. Guys, a couple stats. We sold out at 150 racers about 2 weeks ago. We're down to about 142 now. We usually have about 10% with injuries or some kind of issues. Very happy with the first year numbers for this race. The question came up about the maps. I want to make some clarifications. So the 4-hour racers all pre-plotted maps. The map for both races, the 4-hour and the 8-hour will receive the exact set of maps, same set of maps, except the 4-hour will have all pre-plotted. The 8-hour will receive a 1 to 24 map that they will need to plot for all the trekking points. Because the biking section is so large, instead of giving you 4 different maps at 11 by 17, we pre-plotted that. So it's about a 1 to 40 scale. You are allowed to use outside maps. You are allowed to use your phone. All the checkpoints on the bike are easy to find. They're either at wineries or they're at intersections or bridges or landmarks like post offices. So we did pre-plot the biking section for the 8-hour because you guys have the same maps. However, the 1 to 24 is your plotting. This is the most checkpoints I've ever set for a race of 8 hours or less. We actually didn't even have enough checkpoints, so I had to go out and make more. I think total checkpoints for this course is got to be over 50. Robert probably knows the exact number, but I've hosted 50-hour races with less than 50 checkpoints. So you guys will be busy and you will be punching those passports throughout the day. Whenever you come into transition, we will give you a new passport. We know it's raining out there. You come up to our headquarters. We're going to give you a new passport. We're going to update your stats throughout the day as you come through transition. Transition is at your car. You will come through transition several times. If you've been to Sky Meadows, it's on two different sides of Route 17. So you have trekking section, biking section on one side, trekking section on another side, biking is all over the place. So you will come through by your car, you'll be able to resupply. I usually have concerns, especially with an early season race because of Mother Nature. And today was beautiful. Yesterday was great. I was stressed to the max yesterday because it was 90% chance of rain, high of 40. And as of today, it's 0% chance of rain on Saturday. And 44 is the high, but sunny. So, of course, Robert wants frozen foot. He wants it snowy and icy and freezing. I want to make sure you guys are safe on the road. So he already mentioned, let's put those bike lights on if you have them front and rear, just because you'll be on the road. And if it does by chance rain, you're just more visible. You're not going to be on US 17 very long. We get you off as soon as possible, but there's a short section before you get to a side road that you'll be on. So outside maps are allowed, phones are allowed, your maps are on waterproof paper. That being said, when it rains, waterproof paper is one thing, but the ink on the paper can still run, okay? So I would recommend, I have a laser printer and I don't care what they say, it's waterproof paper, it's a laser printer. We've still had these maps disintegrate because you're pulling them in and out, and your bags and stuff. I recommend everybody bringing at least 2 1-gallon Ziploc bags. I'd love to say we have an extra set of maps for everybody. I'm going to see if I can print an extra set of the 1x24, at least the park maps, but we're giving you park maps. We're giving you 2-sided maps that will have topo and terrain on the opposite side, identical maps. So you flip it over. If you like topo, one side has topo. The other side, you flip it over, is terrain map, and it has the trails and everything. Everybody will get at least 2 11x17 maps. You'll get the, in the 11x17 map is the whole course. And then the 1 to 24 is just the trekking section. So you have an enlarged trekking section, and then you have a whole course option. So you'll have a couple sets of maps. I'm going to try to do another set of the at least zoomed in area, the 1 to 24, so that you guys can all get a second copy of that. Makes it a little challenging because we have pre-plotted and not plotted maps. Once again, weather, just keep an eye out. I sent an email out yesterday. It could change. It's already changed in the last 24 hours. And it looks like we're going to have rain on Friday, but on Saturday, it looks like it's going to be clear for us. That being said, we're going to be parked in a wet area. I put in the email, the park is charging us $10 per racer. So please bring $10. That goes right to the park. That's the only way they make money. They make money from our permit and then you guys paying for parking. So try to bring exact change if you can. We have limited cell phone coverage. I will have Venmo and Zelle at our trailer. I have a hotspot that is Zelle, no, that is Verizon. And then my phone service is AT&T and Robert's is Verizon. I could get a text through when I was at the race headquarters, but when I was up on the mountain, I could get a cell coverage and phone conversations. But when I was down at the headquarters, so it changes depending on your service. Remember, it's mandatory gear anyway. Transition, bring dry socks, bring dry clothes. So when you go through transition through your car, throw on a pair of dry socks, rain jacket. I highly recommend a rain jacket, gloves, an extra pair of gloves, because that way, if you come in off the bike, you put a dry pair of gloves on. Extra pair of shoes. Remember, it's your car, just throw all your gear in there. And then that way, when you come by your car, you can grab whatever you need. Mandatory gear. I always recommend Smartwool because even when it's wet, it retains 90% of your heat. So if that is on underneath a rain jacket and a t-shirt, you have a t-shirt on, that's going to keep you warm if you're exerting any energy at 44 degrees. It could be warmer than 44 degrees, but for me, a cotton shirt on top of the Smartwool long sleeve in a rain jacket, I'll be actually sweating if I'm jogging at all. Trails. Every park is a little bit unique. And what's unique about this park, it's our first year with them, no off-trail navigation. So those of you who are experienced adventure racers and you're like, oh, this is going to be a boring race. We have tons of options because we have so many checkpoints. Am I going to backtrack on this trail? Am I going to attack from this trail up here? So you'll still have a lot of checkpoints to attack from different directions. So you'll still have tons of different strategy. And actually, it's a blessing. As Robert said, his trekking section was 9 miles and he stayed on the trail. Mine was 5 miles and I went off trail and my legs and arms are tore up. The pricker bushes are all over. The last area I bushwhacked down through a reentrant and I kept hitting these pricker bushes. I actually cut back up and I kept cutting back up. Next thing you know, I'm back up on the original trail. So the trails are going to be a blessing for a lot of you guys. Beginners, this is going to be awesome for you. Experienced racers, it's just going to be about speed and picking the right routes. It is a long course, but everything's going to be very easy to find. Robert likes the state park map. I like the maps that I design. Of course, that's my ego talking. But once again, waterproof paper, bring Ziploc bags, keep them in that Ziploc bag, look at them through Ziploc bags. I have to wear glasses because I'm older. All your points are on trails, trail intersections, or landmarks, high points, view sections, chairs, those types of things like a scenic view. No major award ceremony at the end. Somebody emailed me earlier today, and if I'm in the 8-hour race and I finish in 6 hours, last thing I want to do in a rainy situation and it's cold is wait around for 2.5 hours for an award ceremony. Rolling awards, we will announce things on our website. We'll try to get a picture of you on the podium first, second, or third, because we'll know if you clear the course. Everybody who's there for the full duration of the race, like our 4-hour race, a lot of times we'll have an award ceremony. But what we've run into in the past is our winners leave and then you take a picture and you got second, third place, or just third place on the podium. No hot food. We will have sweet and salty snacks. They're going to all be in prepackaged containers, so bags and stuff like that, granola bars and stuff like that. And then we'll have chips and no beer at this race, no hot chocolate. We're gonna have Gatorade and water at the ending of the race. We're gonna have it under our awning or under one of our tents to keep everything dry if it does rain, but we are gonna have rolling awards. In our longer races, like a 24 or 50, we will have award ceremony. So our 50-hour this fall, we have we're gonna have a barbecue cookout, and even if you finish in 36 hours, to get your award, it'll be 50 hours. It'll be after the race end. But we just found that so many people leave because they're driving in. We have a lot of people that are coming in from 4 or 5 hours away and they want to get on the road and get out. So no award ceremony for 8 hours or less, not even really 12 hours, typically our 24 and our 50. We do kind of award ceremony and like a hot meal at those. That allows people to kind of go on their way and see the results on the website, but they usually know before they leave. I mentioned the Ziploc bags, 1 gallon Ziploc bags, have an extra. Have your gear in your pack in Ziploc bags too, even if it rains. It keeps that smart wool top or the X pair of socks, gloves, those kinds of things dry. So I kind of roll on pretty quick there. Trying to keep.
Mike, we got a couple questions.
Schedule. And I know we have some questions coming in, so I will turn it back over to Robert to answer some of these questions.
All right. How do we have to do the checkpoints in order? You have to do the checkpoints in each section, in each leg, but you can do them in any order within that leg. So, and that'll be in the rules of travel, very clear. $10 per car for the parking, not per racer. So per car. And then, Mike, you can answer this. How many other kids are doing the 4-hour race besides Jen Worth's family?
I would say we probably have about 20 kids in the race. That means under the age of 18.
All right, so that should cover all the questions from the chat. If y'all have any more, add it to the chat, or you're welcome to pipe in now.
And I did mention this last time. We do have a $10 fee for insurance. If you've done a Tough Mudder or Spartan race, they'll charge you $25 for insurance. We have a great insurance company. It's a supplemental insurance policy in case an ambulance needs to be called. It covers that type of things. As a race management company, we buy our own insurance, but we added the supplemental about a year ago because that way, if emergency situation comes up, I I've been in situations where a racer did not want to go to the hospital in the ambulance because their insurance didn't cover it. So we buy the supplemental insurance for you. And that's a $10 fee for that. And we buy it for every racer. So it's not like you can opt out of it. What that covers is if you need an ambulance call. It doesn't go on your insurance, or it partners with your insurance. I think it's about a $20,000 policy, which usually gets a racer to the hospital. We added that about a year and a half ago versus USARA. We use a company called McKay, and we've had 2 incidents, and the people were very happy. I'm happy with filing the claim for it. And then you work directly with that insurance company. And for $10 to know that if you need to, you can take an ambulance. I've been in situations in the last 10 years where somebody didn't want to take an ambulance to the hospital because they didn't want it on their insurance, or their insurance didn't cover it. And as you know, that is a $20,000 claim without it being covered on insurance. So we added it to all our races. I know some race companies don't have that, but it's something that Rev3 added last year, and we used it twice. I think the people that used it were very happy with it. We're happy with it too, because it's a little bit of an extra thing that we can offer. Took me about 10 years to find a policy like this, and now we're working with other race management companies to hopefully start adopting this policy, because you as a racer then has an option to go to the hospital in the ambulance and not worry about somebody picking you up and those types of things. We will have a sweep on the course. As Robert mentioned, if you run into a mechanical problem or something like that, please give us a call. Race director's phone numbers are on there. We'll come out there and give you assistance. We will have a toolkit with us in many cases, but please bring your own tube and those types of things. And now if your crank breaks or a pedal breaks off or something like that, we fully understand that. Our ultimate goal is to get you back to the finish line safe and sound. I don't know if you saw this one. Does the trekking or biking come first on the 8-hour, Robert?
Yes.
What he's saying is you as a racer get to pick which option you want. One thing I don't think I covered in the email or on the website that I highly recommend, if you have a nice bike, bring a bike lock. The way Robert has the course designed in with some of our restrictions in the park, we have areas where you can opt to bike and then drop your bike and trek the 3 points and come back to your bike. Just because it's open to the public. If I have a $5,000 carbon bike sitting there, I'm going to carry a bike lock to put it on that bike. I've never had a bike taken during a race, but we do add that as mandatory gear in a lot of our races now, because you as a racer don't have to worry about somebody taking a bike. If you have your bike and you have a teammate and you just fasten the two together, nobody's going to be carrying those two bikes out of the park. If you're a soloist, lock that tire, they have to carry it. We're going to see them in the parking lots. It's just a safety thing. And if you have any concerns about your bike being taken during the race and you don't want to hide it off the trail in the sticker bushes, bring a lock. I usually have that on as mandatory gear, and I noticed I did not have it as mandatory gear, but I know we have a couple bike drops where Robert gives you the option of dropping your bike and trekking to 5 or 6 points. It might be a lot faster to do that versus riding the bike. And they do have some trails in the park that do not allow bikes. So when you come to a trail marker and it has horses and a trekking person on it, you're not allowed to take your bike. Now, Robert has that in rule of travel. You have to honor all the park rules when you're in this park. Like we said, it's our first year within this park. Some of the restrictions are a little more strict. If you want a race where you can go off trail, bushwhack, pick your own route, that's going to be Seven Bends State Park, and that's going to be Shenandoah River State Park. We've been there for years now, and they let you go anywhere and everywhere. They realize we're not going to all take the same route and cause a new trail within the park. It's our first year at the Sky Meadows, so we have to follow all their rules. With that being said, that is our half hour. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. If you have no questions, you guys are free to go. You received the last email, came out on Sunday. And we look forward to seeing you either on Friday night or on Saturday. Now, one thing I did not cover is camping. I wanted to make sure we highlighted on the website as well as in the email that went out. There is some hiking camping there. Remember, it's going to be raining, and a few people have asked for car camping. We're not going to officially say you can car camp, but if you check in on Friday night, what we've typically seen is a lot of the rangers leave and they're gone for the night and they won't be back till the next morning. We will have parking spots for you to pull into, but it could be a cold, wet evening. If you have any more questions about it, we might have some access to some hot water or some warm showers for the following day because we are staying there as a staff. But once again, that's kind of restricted to our staff, but an emergency situation like hypothermia, we're gonna make sure you guys can get inside our Rev3 trailers heated, as well as we are renting the lodge at the resort, not the resort, the state park, which will be where our headquarters is. If there's no questions, you guys are free to go. Thank you. Our maps included, yes, all maps. You don't get your passport on Friday night. So if you want to go out all night long and explore and try to find all these points and drive by them in your car, you can find them. You don't get your passport, so you can't officially punch them. Listen, I've done it before in the past. I'm a teacher. I make all my exams open book now because we have this thing called lockdown browser, and I know people can look at their phone, just set it in front of them like this. So it's up to you. It's like Robert said, it's your race. You pick how you want to run it. If I was really competitive, and I used to be very competitive, especially when I was looking for points for national standings, I'd scout that trail as much as possible beforehand. You can scout it as much as you want. The trekking points, you won't be able to scout many of them because the park closes at 7. All our points are out as far as the trekking section right now. You can drive the route. You just can't punch them. You can't get any official notice that you've been there. And literally, there's not a lot of strategic advantage other than knowing, hey, it's going to be right at the bottom of this hill because the map's going to mark it, and we're not trying to hide them. They're right there in the open for you. This course is a distance course. Okay, I'm going to stop my share, and I will stop my recording.
Yeah, so we'll also post the rules of